Hello, and welcome to a new video. In this video we'll work on adding polish to the game, proper tutorials, fixing the bow and adding lighting. Also, unlike our other video, this one will be a bit slower, and I'll try to explain things a lot more. I'll also try to avoid not showing any footage, and overall I'll try to edit it better. And yes, I changed my voice, as it sounds a bit better. So without further ado, let's get started. So right off the bat I got working on lighting. At first I tried doing it off memory, but I haven't added lighting to one of my games in about 6 months, so I had to watch a Brachy's tutorial. After doing so, I downloaded the render pipeline package, which is what allows us to have all this fancy effects we'll implement, and made a render pipeline asset, which from my understanding is kind of the graphics controller or the brain. I may be wrong though. Anyways, I went to edit, project setting, and selected our render pipeline at the top, which essentially tells the game, hey, we're using this as our graphics controller, now lighting should be working fine. So I went to the scene and absolutely nothing changed, because I forgot to upgrade all my sprites to use this new lighting. Thankfully, instead of going sprite by sprite upgrading them to use the new lighting, which can be done by changing its material, Unity has a feature which allows you to change all of the materials at once. So that's what I did. Now there were a few problems with this. 1. Everything was black as there was no light. 2. I wanted some objects like the player and coins to not be affected by lighting. And 3. It only worked for one scene at a time. So I had to go scene by scene, or level by level, upgrading them to use new lighting. So that solved the third problem. Next, we needed everything to not be, well, pitch black. So I made a prefab, which is an object that you can use in multiple scenes or levels, that illuminated everything. This was called a global light. So the whole scene would be illuminated. However, I made sure it was still kind of dark so I could add more lighting. And finally, to solve the first problem, I went level by level, just degrading the coins, player and exit signs to not use lighting. Now finally I added more lights, for example a yellow light for the coins or a blue light for the player, and with that the lighting was finished. Now before we move on to tutorials, and fixing the bow, let's take a small moment to thank our sponsor. Me. Yes, me. Now since I'm still a small content creator and won't receive sponsors until I have like 10,000 subscribers, you can support me by checking out my Discord and subscribing. Thank you for listening. Now let's get on with the video. I next worked on a tutorial. Now I wanted my tutorial to be optional, or be fluent with the gameplay, as I hate games that make you stop what you're doing to learn how to play. In order to do this, I downloaded some button sprites off the internet, and decided I would have the tutorial engraved on the cave walls. I then just added some of the character sprites to describe what the buttons do. For example, on the jump, there is a spacebar button and then some sprites of the character jumping. I also made some more space for the tutorials on the first level, by implementing a long hallway, and with that we were done. And I would say it turned out pretty well, as you can see here. Anyways, let's continue. After finishing that, I added the option to also jump with W instead of the spacebar, and I started working on fixing the bow, which was honestly easier than I expected. I just made it so when you shoot, the bow gets disabled, and it triggers a coroutine, which is kind of like a timer, and when the timer is done the bow is enabled again, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Next up, I got working on fixing some bugs. I fixed tile map colliders, as for some reason they were getting messed up and had multiple edges which messed with enemy AI. I realized the problem was they were on a different tile set, and I fixed it quickly by replacing them with the correct tile set, which is kind of like a group of tiles, like terrain, hazards, water, etc. Next, I finally fixed that weird thing the player's feet used to do, where they bugged out and moved quickly left to right. The problem was that in order to change between running and idling, it would see if the player had 0 velocity. If it had 0 velocity, it would be idling. If it didn't, it would be running. However, the game sometimes got confused as it wasn't checking between 0 and 0.1. Instead, it was checking between 0 and the next smallest possible number. I fixed that by making it so it would only change to running when it has 0.1 velocity, which fixed the bug. And with that we finished the devlog. But before we end off this video, I'll show you guys what the game currently looks like. So sit down, relax and enjoy the clip. I hope you like how it's looking now with the new lighting and bug fixes. However, as you can tell, I still have some stuff to do, like fixing that last level's difficulty, and degrading that exit sign on the 4th level, which I totally missed. Anyways, have a good day, and if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and join the Discord. Anyways, have a nice day.